Hi, I'm Nick Hyde, Head of Procurement at Stirling Council. Thanks for joining this session. I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes or so walking through a recent project we undertook, its outcomes, our work in this area going forward, and touch on future contracting opportunities. So, under the Community Wealth Building banner, there are 5 distinct pillars, one of which is progressive procurement, which is the main focus of our work in this area. It brings together aspects which are critical for us to make this step change. Things like local procurement, living wage, third sector, environmental. All of these aspects fit nicely into what Stirling Council is trying to achieve in the future. In February 2021, the Scottish Government commissioned a programme of work through Scotland Excel to support its community wealth building aspirations. The programme was agreed to cover 4 local authorities, including Stirling Council, to emphasise the importance of the Scottish model of procurement in supporting community wealth building aims. A key aspect of the programme was to generate intelligence, good practice and advice that can be used across the Scottish public sector. The programme was segmented into 7 distinct projects. These included internal partner engagement, external partner engagement, data analysis, and the use of Public Contract Scotland and quick quotes. As a starting point, we reviewed Stirling Council's contracting spend. In 2020-21, Stirling Council let 160 contracts worth £138 million. Based on the most basic of local measurements, Stirling Council spent 19 million with local companies in Stirling. We looked at Forth Valley as a slightly wider region, i.e. businesses with the FK postcode. That spend then rose to £32 million. Within the 160 contracts, 22% of those contracts included community benefits, things like education, employability, local environment, local community and enterprise benefits. In addition to that, 27 of those contracts contained sustainable outcomes contributing towards the Council's carbon net zero targets. Once we'd finished with the project, the high-level outcome was a community wealth building charter, using the progressive procurement pillar as a starting point. We're now looking to promote living wage and fair work through our contracts, promote net zero and sustainability, improve access to public sector contracts, particularly for SMEs, cooperatives, social enterprises, etc. We're working closely with the Supplier Development Programme and a number of other partners like the Chamber of Commerce and the Federation of Small Businesses. We will look to set up a local supplier forum, enable closer working and better understandings of the aims and objectives of all parties. We'll continue to undertake spend analysis and identify ways to increase local spend where possible. Inclusion of community benefits clauses wherever relevant. And in addition to this, we want to explore ways to open up subcontracting opportunities to local contractors through the prime contractor where we can. Beyond the Community Wealth Building Charter, we've then developed a more detailed community wealth building commitment. This is a much more detailed document, so I won't go into the detail of it in this presentation, but both the charter and the commitment are available on our external website. In terms of the main end of the document, looks to articulate what success and outcomes mean to ensure that we're able to track and measure our success in this area in the coming years. So success and outcomes are articulated as improved number of contracts with community benefits built into the contract, track the number of contracts where the supplier is paying real living wage and abiding by fair work practices. We want to improve the number of contracts that have sustainable outcomes that directly contribute towards carbon net zero objectives. We want to increase the percentage of spend going through local suppliers, either based in Stirling or within the Forth Valley region. And we want to develop an ability to work with suppliers so we can open up those local subcontracting opportunities I touched on earlier. Also, as part of our work within this area, we've been working with a number of external partner organisations, and we've already had some really positive discussions with organisations such as the Forth Valley Chamber of Commerce, Federation of Small Businesses, Business Gateway, Forth Valley NHS, University of Stirling, local councils within Forth Valley, colleagues in Clackmannanshire Council and Falkirk Council. This is alongside our work with the Supplier Development Programme, which forms part of today's event and future events going on in a minute. In terms of future contracting opportunities, the link provided will take you to our external website, where you'll be able to review our contracts register, which is updated every month. A quick review of the register today will show you that we have, as a council, 122 contracts worth £3.75 million due to end in the next 18 months to 24 months, most of which will require retendering when new contracts being let. In addition to this, the council is currently finalising plans for the capital delivery plan for this next 12 to 18 months, and is currently looking at around £20 million worth of works capital delivery plan. And then beyond that, the council is looking to try and find a way of developing a 4 to 5 year capital delivery plan, so we're able to project into the future what the requirements will be in that area and publish those to the potential tenderers as early as we possibly can. So in terms of next steps, we are currently developing a community wealth building launch event. We're working very closely with Supplier Development in this and really looking forward to the event. So please keep an eye on the Supplier Development Programme website for registration to be open for this event in July in the centre of Stirling. Beyond that, we'll be looking at regional market events where we'll be able to go to the area of Stirling and possibly into Forth Valley to look at doing smaller, more targeted events. We'll also be working with Supplier Development Programme to open up the opportunities for suppliers to get tender training, etc. through the Supplier Development Programme. We'll be looking to create those links that I touched upon with subcontracting opportunities and larger organisations. And we'll be working with partner organisations that I've listed earlier on to further our work in this area. And thanks very much for joining us. I hope you found the session useful. And please join us in the Q&A if you have any questions. Look forward to speaking to you. Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Fiona Buchanan and I'm in Stirling Council's Economic Development team. On the Stirling Council panel today is Nick Hyde, our Head of Procurement, who you've already heard from, as well as Simon Payne, Category Manager for Strategic Commissioning and Customer Development, Gordon Wright, who's Senior Officer at Employer Engagement and Learning and Employability. They're all looking forward to the opportunity to answer some of your questions. So if you'd like to submit a question, please go to the right of your screen where there's the live Q&A. So we're going to make a quick start here with Simon. We've got a question for you, which is, I have a product that can give councils a revenue stream, but just can't get in. Where is the best place to find innovative procurement opportunities for Stirling?
Morning, everyone. Thanks, Fiona. We are increasingly getting asked about revenue stream generating opportunities. Obviously, councils are looking increasingly at these sorts of opportunities. These types of contracts do still fall within the procurement regulations. So the best point of contact would be to sort of get in touch with either myself directly or through the procurement mailbox at Stirling Council. I suppose the specific nature of the answer I give to this question would depend quite significantly on the details of the requirement. You know, what sort of values were in play and how it fitted with anything that the council was already doing. But I suppose my overall response, Fiona, would be we're very interested in revenue generating contracts, and the best thing to do for anyone who has an idea or a proposal or something that they think we might be interested in would be to get in touch with procurement at the council.
Okay, thanks, Simon. Nick or Gordon, do you have anything to add to that?
No, thanks.
Okay. Nick, one for you. Could you tell me more about the Stirling Council Community Wealth Building event that's happening on 12th of July?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for the question. 12th of July, we're having a community wealth building launch event in the Albert Halls in the centre of Stirling. It's a morning session. We'll be listening to myself talk a little bit more about community wealth building in the procurement sphere. We've also got presentations from economic development colleagues, employability colleagues. We'll be looking at how the Stirling economic development strategy fits into that whole area. There'll be an opportunity to network. We'll be having the partners, hopefully all of the partners that were listed on my presentation, in attendance as well. There'll be stands, opportunities to talk to people, and hopefully at that stage a little bit more detail about future tendering opportunities as well.
That's great. Thanks, Nick. We're going to come back with a reminder about that 12th of July event at the end. But Gordon, how does your service and employability, how does that link in with community wealth building, the employability services?
So we look to make sure that community wealth building and community benefits clauses are dealt with in the most effective manner. That's maximising the potential impact of the community wealth building opportunities that are taken from public realm contracting, but also to ensure that the business and that the priority people within our local area have access to opportunities, to make sure that community groups, to make sure that any kind of opportunity to enhance or embellish the offer, as I said, maximising potential impact, but ensuring that contractors and businesses have one set contact and group that they can achieve all their community wealth building through.
Okay, thanks. Nick, I'm going to put two questions in one to you. Are companies outside the immediate council area and the Forth Valley area less likely to be awarded contracts under this? And are companies slightly larger than the SME max numbers of employees less likely to be awarded contracts? So really it's about, is this constraining people as they want to try and get contracts with Stirling Council?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks for both those questions. I think the short answer is no. They're not less likely. We won't hinder any tenderer. We can't, under the procurement legislation, favour suppliers and contractors from any particular area. So we will always evaluate our tenders on best economically advantageous tender basis. It'll always be done in a fair and open and transparent manner. So if you're out with the Stirling area, then, you know, and if you're slightly larger on an SME, the opportunities are still there, and we will still take your tenders and still evaluate them equally and fairly. Simon, did you have any more detail to add to that one?
No, I think you've pretty much covered it. I would stress that, you know, of the number of contracts that are on the contract register, there's a huge number that are from much further afield than Forth Valley and the Stirling area, and there's a large number that are with you know, very large organisations. I suppose the task for us and what this community wealth building project is really about is energising the local supply chain and helping them develop and helping them become more competitive for Stirling Council contracts and councils across the country as well. The other thing I would say is the council uses a lot of national frameworks. You know, the frameworks are set up in some cases by organisations like Scotland Excel for the benefit of local authorities like Stirling Council. We do use a lot of national frameworks, so there's another route to market for companies who are maybe not necessarily within the Stirling area or the Forth Valley area. If you can get onto these national frameworks, there's an easy route for engaging with Stirling Council through them.
Okay, Simon, just on procurement frameworks, there's a question on IT procurement. Do you utilise frameworks for IT procurement?
We do, yeah. So certainly, you know, buying technology is a challenge for local authorities. There's you know, there's a large level of technical expertise required in order to make sure you're buying the right thing and that you're getting the right right equipment in. We utilize frameworks because they have sort of ready-made quality checks built into them. They've obviously been established by people who've got significant expertise in that area. So we do use frameworks for technology. We use them for other things as well, such as PPE, where there's a sort of fairly standard requirement across Scotland in terms of what local authorities are buying. So yeah, frameworks absolutely are within the picture of how Stirling Council procures its requirements.
Okay, Nick, how does the council procure PPE?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I think Simon's just touched on that. We tend to use the national frameworks that are put in place. So we'll look at using the Scotland Excel framework or Crown Commercial Services framework. Typically for PPE, it's a quicker and easier route to market for us. Typically, and especially obviously during the pandemic, the need to get PPE very quickly at the understood standards, so we could provide the level of protection for staff, etc., was paramount. So we needed to use the quickest and easiest route to be able to source the PPE. I think we use Scotland Excel framework predominantly.
Okay, thank you. Question for Gordon. I'm an employability training provider and currently deliver many programs for the UK government throughout the UK, and I would like to start opening my reach up to local councils. How do I gain access to these opportunities with Stirling Council?
So the majority of opportunities for this type of contracting would be through Scottish Government funding, No One Left Behind Phase 2 and the Young Person's Guarantee. Now that is commissioned through Stirling Council, and we currently do that by a kind of block grant approach, and that is overseen and adjudicated over by the local employability partnership in Stirling. I think the best way for you to engage and look at these opportunities is to send an email with a note of interest to employerengagement@stirling.gov.uk. That's employerengagement@stirling.gov.uk.
Okay, Simon, who and what department would I talk to about pest control, bird control and cleaning jobs? Thank you.
Hi, so any contractual inquiries, the best thing to do is to come into the procurement mailbox directly. I can, or once inquiries come into procurement, we can forward them on to the relevant departments. There's a couple of departments that would cover the range of services that you've asked for or inquired about. So send it to the procurement mailbox in the first instance. Somebody will get back to you, and we'll make sure that the inquiry is forwarded on to the relevant people.
Okay, Nick, what's the best way for setting up quick quotes for supplying goods?
Okay. In terms of a supplier providing quick quotes to us, I'm guessing is the question. I would suggest that we use quick quotes on PCS for the vast majority of our quick quotes. So you'll see the opportunities that Stirling Council are putting out against a quick quote on relatively lower value stuff. So if you're on PCS, you should see our quick quote opportunities there.
Okay, thank you.
Can I come in, Fiona? Just a
Sure.
quick follow up to Nick. In terms of quick quotes, the council has a contract register that sort of details our existing contracts, and it's worth, if you have a specific requirement that you're interested in providing for the council, keeping an eye on when the contract, if there is an existing contract in place, is due to expire. Quick quotes are invitation. The council don't have such a thing as an approved supplier list anymore. That's sort of old procurement hat, but we do invite suppliers, and obviously we need to know who people are in order to invite them. So if you are aware of a requirement that's coming up and you think it might fall under the sort of quick quote routine and you're keen to take part in it, then by all means reach out to us again and just let us know that you're interested and want to be considered for that.
Okay, Simon, I'm going to stay with you because it's linked to the previous question. How does the council look to procure cleaning and maintenance products?
So we've got a couple of cleaning and maintenance corporate contracts, and then smaller things as well. We do use Scotland Excel frameworks for some of the products, but equally for some of the services we use local companies. So I'm thinking back to the sort of start of the pandemic and some of the things in terms of helping refugees from the Ukraine that have been going on in the last couple of months, where we've had to reach out to more local specific suppliers for smaller value contracts. Generally, we, for goods and materials that are required across the council, we would look to put a larger contract in place, a more corporate view. But there are certainly opportunities for smaller businesses and smaller service providers. Again, sound like a broken record, but if you get in touch with us in the first instance, that's the best way to reach out and make contact.
Okay, anyone got anything else on that? Nick, I'm going to come to you about sustainability. Single-use plastic ban is now in place. However, most people are still buying plastic, but just display the dead turtle. How would you suggest we go about this to sell our products? Our products are made out of bamboo, pulp and sugarcane, cups, knives, forks, spoons, toilet roll and flushable wipes.
Okay, thank you. Good question. Yeah, absolutely. Sustainability and climate change is absolutely critical to the work going forward that we're going to be doing under this as a council. In terms of trying to sell in products, the vast majority of products that I think the question referred to there would be something that we would typically look to source from a framework. So in the first instance, I would suggest either, as Simon has said before, get in touch with ourselves and we'll look into the services and the frontline services and the buy-in those kind of goods, and look to create some links that way, and or maybe get in touch with Scotland Excel or go onto the Scotland Excel website and look for the next opportunity to get onto the contract to sell the products through, and we will then either pick it up directly, as I mentioned, or next time we have a requirement through the Scotland Excel framework. Sounds like to me the best step change for that.
Okay, Nick, does the council recruit staff through the public sector framework, or do you operate your own direct recruitment?
I would say 95% of it comes through the public sector frameworks.
Right.
Occasionally there are unfortunately situations where we can't find staff through the frameworks, but they're few and far between, in fairness. So the vast majority of them come through the frameworks.
Okay.
Can I just clarify, if
yeah.
we're talking about temporary staff, then obviously that I take it, Nick, you answered in terms of short-term temporary
I did
staff
answer on the basis of temporary
agencies.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I just obviously the council uses My Job Scotland for its permanent posts, and have a sort of a HR function that manages the general recruitment. I just wanted to clarify in case the question was around that rather than the agency angle.
Gordon, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's fine.
Okay. Question: we deal with disposal of redundant IT equipment, including phones and computers, making sure data is wiped entirely in a fully accredited way, with certificates sent to the council to confirm this for records. What is the best way to promote our services to you? Simon?
Please get in touch. We would be very interested to talk to you about that. We have a lot of technology equipment, and we've bought a lot more over the last few years in terms of sort of pandemic response and home working. It's an increasing there's an increasing demand for the services that you've described. Please do get in touch with me directly if you want.
Okay, Nick, can I just bring you back now to the event on the 12th of July and ask you to exhort people to get in touch with us and to attend that event?
Yes, absolutely. I'm conscious of time, so I'll just say that the registration for the event should be live on the Supplier Development Portal. If it's not, it will be very soon. So please go on the portal, register, come along to the event. We'd lovely to meet you and have a chat and get into more detailed conversations as we take this forward.
Okay, well, I think that probably wraps us up for now. Just like to thank everyone for sending the questions through. We've had quite a good range here today, and I hope that we've been able to answer your questions. If we weren't able to answer your questions, please get in touch and we'll try to get your queries to the right people. And I'd just like to thank Gordon, Simon and Nick for being on the panel today and for taking part so enthusiastically.
Thank you.
Fiona.
Thanks, Fiona.